Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey, where Scott does his weekly check-in with nutrition coach Cheryl Nasso every week live on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notifier so you first know when new episodes come out. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey. My name is Scott Switz from the Clydesdale. She is Cheryl Nasso. She is my nutrition coach. We have a new sponsor.
What's up?
See at the bottom of the screen, all of our shows now are presented by Thick Boy Apparel. The cool part about that is they are going to start carrying Clydesdale Media merch on their website, and they're making the screens this week. We should have some stuff out soon. The first run will be the horse logo with shirts and tanks, and they will come in. We're looking at colors of purple, our blue, and gray. So make sure we'll keep you up to date when those become available, and super stoked about that.
That's awesome. Just in time for the old semifinal season.
That is true.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have some of them out in the world. So if you get one and you go to semifinals, you got to make sure you show up, wear it, tag, do the whole Instagram stories thing, tag Scott, tag Clydesdale Media, just giving you guys the tips now. That's it. I know I'm the nutrition coach. Do you guys see my hair? Oh man, I'm a hot mess. I should probably clean up a little bit before these shows. Well, I'm excited to check in with you today. We've been kind of doing our formal check-ins on Thursday, so we have some direction going into the week, because I think it sometimes sets you up for success knowing that you have a plan going into the weekend. It's kind of like a double check-in, because your Tuesday check-in is kind of like also setting you up for the week ahead. Last week, we were coming off of your amazing weekend experience, getting to experience some athleticism with the quarterfinals. Travel, I think
months ago at this point.
It was what?
Seems like months ago at this point.
Man, I don't know. I feel like all last week I was so consumed by the damn leaderboard, and I'm not even like competing this year, but I could go off on a tangent on that, but I'm not going to. We're going to focus on Scott's journey. Maybe we'll if we have time, we can close up on some CrossFit talk. But yeah, so I think that you did a really good job over the weekend, just kind of being able to be mindful while still allowing yourself to enjoy, obviously, being with friends and family. We did talk a little bit about some stuff at home that's been affecting you, and primarily over that weekend, that was very apparent that's kind of affecting you a little bit. And we are going to kind of obviously talk a little about that today with whatever you want to share. But last week so far, your main goal was, from my notes from you, I'm looking at right now, was getting better about logging ahead of time or as you go, so that you're not, at the end of the day, only getting in 100 grams of protein, and that you're getting in enough stuff. So how do you feel you did with that goal of like the pre-logging and all that stuff?
I think I did really well. I don't think I did well hitting my protein over the weekend, because it was really, really busy for me. And we'll explain that in a minute or two. But I was just so exhausted at the end of the day that I didn't eat late. So I didn't have the chance to make up ground.
I gotcha. All right. Well, I know I'm going to let you talk about it a little bit, because I know that you've been having, some stuff going on at home that you feel like, and I mean, your title right here, mental health, is a part of the whole thing. And I think that I have my thoughts that I'm going to write down right now before I forget them, but I want you to kind of talk about why you titled it that.
So I'm going through a season of life where my wife is really struggling with some things in her life. And when the love of your life is hurting, you hurt too. And so it's really affected our lives and it really started to become impactful the weekend we went to Michigan, and became more evident. Since then, I've had to take up a lot more of the responsibilities around the house. because of what she's going through. And I'm gonna keep that private for now, and her battle and what's going on there. But it's meaning that I'm cooking all the meals, which in one way is an advantage because now I get to control what we eat, but I'm exhausted at the end of the day. I'm cooking all the meals, I'm cleaning the house, I'm doing the laundry. Plus we started this project in my backyard that I can't just let sit. So I'm back there. I did double banger in the backyard, with my sledgehammer taking posts out of the ground. But all of this and then the stress of it all, and there's stuff going on with my daughter too, which is added to that as well. Not as bad. That's a temporary thing that we just had to give her a car for a couple weeks to fix. So we're down to one car at our house as well.
Oh, geez.
And so with all that, I'm super stressed. I'm not sleeping as well as I was a couple weeks ago. And it, you know, you always told me like cortisol levels affect all that stuff. And it has become very evident to me as I'm tracking more and more stuff, how much it is affecting everything.
And you probably notice your blood sugar as well.
It is. My
Yep.
blood sugar's up this week. So I'm really trying to eliminate as much of the processed carbs as I can from my diet to get that blood sugar back down. And again, I've had to do all the grocery shopping. I'm doing the cooking. So I'm looking at that as a blessing in some way, that now I can control all that stuff a lot more. And that's the one thing I can't control in this moment.
Yeah.
I'm really focusing on that and my tracking.
So I wanted to, first off, thank you for sharing all that. And I want to kind of talk about, but I got to make a joke, dude. I got to make a joke. Okay. Your story's not funny, but we got to make this lighthearted too. All right.
Okay.
If I got ladies in the chat, all right. Got ladies in the chat. I know I got ladies in the chat. And I might even have some mom dads in the chat. Because what I just heard was, I got to be a mom. I got to do a full-time job. I got to get to the gym. I got to eat my food. That's mom life that you're talking about right there. I got to do all the kids' laundry. This mom life shit sucks. I just had to make the joke. I had to make the joke.
But I'm also dad.
I know, but that's what moms do. Mom's got to play mom and dad, but they don't have to do the whole, I'm kidding with you. I'm just putting a shout out to all my moms that are in the chat right now, because that's all I was hearing. Because I hear that so often. Oh my gosh, I got to do the laundry. I got to go grocery shopping. My kid needs to go play sports. I got to do this. Is literally, so your experience to get to the nth degree. I just had to make the joke first and foremost, because we are going into something that's very serious for you. And part two is like, I think everybody in the chat, myself, can relate how it is really hard to enjoy things in life when you want to invite somebody that you love to be a part of it and they just can't enjoy it the way that they want to. And it brings a level of guilt to yourself, and it steals the joy out of it for you. And then you feel guilty about feeling like you're not enjoying yourself. It becomes this cycle of like this. And I think we can all relate to that feeling and knowing how we just want to be able to feel better. I mean, I'm not married, but like my mom isn't well, and my mom will make plans. She's like, I want to go hiking. I want to do this. But I'm like, Mom, you can't. I know you say you want to do these things, but you're going to make it like 10 minutes before you're like going to overheat. Like, I know that. And it sucks because I want her to be able to enjoy those things. So I totally understand and relate. And I'm going to tell you that I am really proud of you, because I do see a huge improvement in your food quality. I think that your weekend, I think there was probably some busyness, but I think also it's okay to be like, hey, it was the weekend. I tend to be a little bit more flexible with things, just full transparency. When I look at your food on the weekend, it wasn't, I'm focusing on minimally processed carbs. It was, hey, I'm going to enjoy a little bit. And that's okay, because that's the 80-20 life. So I think that that's also where your protein might have been lacking a little bit on the weekend. And that's totally okay. You did the right thing. That's the part of the flexibility of this. But I mean, what I see is like, So when I say this, guys, just so you know, it's like he chose a whole grain bun, he chose the right carbs, but he had some ice cream on Saturday. That's flexibility. That's structured flexibility. He chose a high protein, higher complex carb dinner with this vegetable. I think you had carrots for vegetable. I don't even remember. I got to look back at it again. But
Yeah.
then you're like, you know what? I'm going to also have, no, you had cauliflower. And I mean, you know what? I'm going to have an ice cream cone. That's part of life. So just something I wanted to mention too. But I think you honestly did well. But I want to talk about and another thing that I wanted to kind of quickly say before I open up the floor to you again is when we talk about health, right? We talk about goals when it comes to fat loss. Uh, you know, I think that there's a difference between people chasing a goal of weight loss or fat loss from a place of aesthetics that can be unhealthy. And then there's a place where it can come from health. And health is defined, in my opinion, by more than just how you look physically or even your physical health. Your mental health, I don't even think that they should be separate. I don't think that mental health and physical health could be separate. Like your brain is not separate from the rest of your body, right? I think that we have this I don't even know what to call it in our common day world that like mental health isn't seen as important as our physical health and they're the same. You can't have one without the other. If you are not mentally in a good head place, you are not physically going to feel well. And if you are not physically doing the things you need to be doing, you are not going to mentally feel well. You cannot have one without the other. And so it's really important for you to also, we've talked about this, ensure that you are doing the things for yourself mentally that you need to stay healthy. And that does come down to thinking about these things, controlling what you can control, like talking yourself through those things. Like it's a different approach, right? Like it's not macros, it's not clean eating. It's literally the mental side of things is much more gray matter for lack of better terms. We're talking about the brain, but it really is. It's gray. It's learning how to manage stress and how we react to it and not to become a creature that just kind of goes back to the comfort of like whether it's food or isolation or avoiding things. It's saying no, like I've got to mentally push through this. That's how progress is made. And that was the only other thing that I want to say.
Yeah, and that's what I'm really trying to do. I'm just sad right now. Like I'm just sad. Like the person I love more than anything in this world is hurting.
Mhm.
And I can't help it. I can't make it go away. And it's really incapacitated her a lot to where like I'm almost at a caretaker role right now. And it's really hard. And I'm really, really struggling. And I'm sorry I'm getting emotional, but I'm really trying to focus on that because of I have to take that role on. I have to be the best I can be right now.
This is where I will say that so like separating emotion from logic and emotion from decisions is so hard in the moment, right? But the more we allow ourselves to accept, like, it's okay to be sad, just like it's okay to be happy, right? It's okay to be happy. We have a hard time. Everybody in life has a really hard time feeling negative emotions. But if we realize that emotions, whether good or bad, are okay, it's okay to experience sadness. But the most important thing is just like when you're happy, when you're sad, structure and routine is the number one thing you can do to keep yourself going forward. If like let me flip it around a little bit. Let's just say you're really happy. You just found the love of your life and you're at work and you're like, "Oh," and you're like daydreaming about like that date night last night and can't wait to see them again. And like, you're not thinking about work and you're just like living in la la land. You ain't going to get shit done, right? Like, come on, put your shit together, get back to work, right? That's the flip side of things, being happy. We can have the exact same experience when we're sad. We just have to learn how to stay consistent, structured, focused. Like separating emotion is so hard, but it's a skill that you build. And the more you do it, the better you get at it, and I know I used to have a lot of negative coping mechanisms, and I still to this day will find myself in times where I'm dealing with anxiety and sadness or whatever, because I deal with this stuff too. I think we all do. And finding myself not even thinking about it, but wanting to go back to one of those coping mechanisms that I know might serve the purpose of me dealing with the emotion, but aren't going to really help the fact. It's not going to help to change the situation. I've had to catch myself and be like, this isn't rational. This is emotion. And that's why structure and routine in these times is so important, And the other thing I'm going to say is like minimizing what doesn't have to be done, right? Like, so yes, you're working on a yard project right now, but if like it doesn't get done this month, oh well, like no big deal. Like it's not a big deal. You don't have like unless you have some like party coming up on a specific date where you're like, I've got to get this done by this date. Like, put that shit to the back burner because right now your wife matters more. Extra work stuff. It's funny. I was going to make a post about this tomorrow about how your boss doesn't own you. You get to punch a clock. You get a break at work. Like work stays at work, which I think you're pretty good of. Home is home. And that's it. And I think the last thing on this is like your wife also knows that you're doing a lot, right? She knows you're taking on a burden. She's going to be patient with you. You know that. She's going to be patient with you. Anybody that's being taken care of is grateful. And if they're not, they should be. And then, so they're grateful. She's grateful for everything, so you're doing what you can as a husband.
Yeah. And in the most part, you're correct. But pain makes you say things sometimes you don't mean. So I go through that as well. And just to let people, like Kenneth said something about my wife and I's relationship has never been better. Like her and I are doing great. She's just going through something right now that is heavily impacting our lives. And I'm just trying to pick up the slack.
Mhm.
And it's really hard. And I'm just doing the best I can.
And here's something that I'm going to actually talk to you about too, though, with this as well, right? Not disclosing too much of your wife's situation, but I think some of it we both know there are some things that she can be doing on her end to help better the situation. And that's frustrating for you as well. But knowing that, like, you can only pick up so much
I
slack.
lost Cheryl.
You lost me?
You cut that out for a little bit.
Oh, well, I was just saying, you picking up the slack for somebody else who knows that they need to pick it up a little bit in their own life. If you don't take care of yourself, who's going to be left to take care of you? Right? You don't want to be that burden on somebody else. I know I don't want to be that burden on somebody else. I know that for myself. So it's really important for you to prioritize your health and your fitness and your everything and staying consistent and not feel guilty or shameful for that. And if that means that the laundry doesn't get done today because you got to do some stuff for you, like I'm sure she'll be able to find a pair of clothes to wear for tomorrow. I promise. If that means that like you're doing crock pot meals and it's easy for you because you don't have to think about it, that's what you're doing this week. You know what I mean? Like you got to be able to take what you can get at that point.
When this week I have I have taken care of myself. I have eaten well. I've done all the things. I'm just not sleeping well, and I'm worried.
Yeah.
So enough of that. That's where I'm at right now.
All right.
But I'm confident that I've set myself up for this week really well. Tomorrow's my mom's birthday. I'm actually taking the rest of the week off of work.
Hell yeah.
My mom's birthday's tomorrow. We're going to go see her this weekend. Just kind of get out of the city, go out in the country, kind of chill out a little bit. And yeah, just try to like relax a little bit this weekend and see how things go.
I think that that's going to be so good for you. And I know that your mom is a very healthy individual, which is going to rub off. I think you're going to do great. So I think that, okay, we know that right now, mentally, you are in a place where you can sink or you can swim, and you're going to keep swimming because you got all the support in the world and you're strong and you've been through hard shit in your life and you're going to keep going. I know that. Um, I saw it was one of my questions I haven't asked yet. Jake asked, have you been going to the gym?
I have been this week. I have not because I didn't have access to a car.
Okay.
But like yesterday was Cindy with every 4 minutes a 200-meter run. I did that in my garage. It was so easy.
Okay. So you're doing workouts at home.
Yeah, and then when I have access to the car, I go to the gym.
Well, yeah, but you don't have so you haven't been you probably aren't going to make it to the gym this week realistically.
Yeah, because I'm off the next couple of days. I can take her to work,
Yeah.
drop her off, have the car for the day.
Most important thing is that you're getting a workout in. A week like this is what I'm saying. I'm not worried about you doing it at the gym if right now convenience is a thing. Like I said this, I think I forget where I went, maybe on my stories last week, because I've been slam busy right now. By the way, if y'all want to join my jump start, I'll talk about that a little bit. But I realized last Sunday that I went to church on Sunday and I got my groceries and I hadn't left my house Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. And all I'd done was like client check-ins and work. And I'm like, oh my God, you got to go to the gym today. You got to get out of the house because I'm like going to become a little hermit because I can work out at home. But yeah, like there's times where like you just got to get out and go, right? Like I did the same thing today. I'm like, all right, I didn't want it to be another week where I didn't leave my house again. So I'm like, go to the gym today, make it happen. So I did. I got to because you got to sometimes. But in those times, like you gotta grind. You have to use every hour.
And like Judy said, it's gorgeous here in Ohio. So Sunday, literally, I was doing nothing but swinging a sledgehammer for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Trying to get these the support posts out of the ground from where we removed my deck. And so that was a great workout on Sunday. And I literally in my head was picturing double banger from the CrossFit Games in like 2012.
That's a good one. Yep.
And just hitting those posts as hard as I could with the sledgehammer.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you're going through some shit and you're doing an awesome job. So nutrition's looking pretty good. Just kind of looking over some things. Your fat intake has still been a little bit high, but
I have a couple ideas to fix that.
Yeah, I think that
I just have to get to the grocery store.
Yeah, but it's not every day. You know, it was like yesterday was a little bit high. You're doing fine. Simplest fix for you would be honestly just as simple as in the morning, because you like to do two different types of protein and they're both typically higher fat. I would say cut your eggs down to one egg and do egg and egg whites. That'd be an easy fix. And that's going to set you up better for the rest of the week, the rest of the day.
My store was out of egg whites when I went over the weekend because that was a change I was going to make.
Yeah.
And I have not been able to get them. I just have to go when they're in stock.
I would do that. I don't know. I haven't tried this yet myself, but everything goes viral, right? When protein powder first came out, like people were putting protein powder in everything. Greek yogurt came out, everybody's using Greek yogurt and everything. Then it was cottage cheese. But I have seen people that are using cottage cheese in their eggs to bump up the protein, and apparently it's delicious. I haven't tried it yet myself, but I know that growing up, we used to always put milk in our scrambled eggs. So I'm like, maybe it's similar. I don't know. So, because we used whenever we would make omelets, we would always add milk to that. But I'm curious, that might also help you get the protein up a little bit, keeping the fats down. So, yeah, I mean, Heidi mentioned, yeah, you could just obviously get rid of the yolk, but I'm like you don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste the yolk. Like, it's money going down the drain. This shit's expensive right now. So, but yeah, you totally can. Bruce said the same thing. If you wanted to, you can throw the yolk away. But I think whatever. We're doing well. You're doing great. So Oh gosh, the comments in there. So, all right. So this week, when are you leaving to go to your mom's?
Friday.
Okay, so you're home still from now until Friday. Has the messages been helpful? Do I need to keep doing those, or do you feel like I can take those away and you're going to remember to do what you got to do?
They're probably helpful
Okay.
as much as I find them annoying at times.
Okay, let's keep them going because I want to make sure that we keep them going then. I'm going to keep them up. And then how many workouts do you feel like you can commit to this week? You got one in yesterday in your garage.
Yeah, I'll do one tomorrow and Thursday for sure. And then I'll be out. So one part of the reason I'm going home is to help my mom get a lot of stuff out of the shed. Yeah, I'm going to be working that weekend.
Okay.
So
You're just a busy, busy guy right now.
yeah,
All right. I'm going to go ahead and put this reminder on again. Make sure it's
Wednesday, Thursday gym, and then the weekend working.
okay.
And I'll be back Sunday.
Awesome. All right. This week, like I said, I feel like aside from you having a little bit more flexibility on the weekend, your fiber count is looking much better. You know, I would still really like to get it over 30. You're still kind of walking the fine line of like 25-ish. That's just going to be good for your blood sugar. And you don't have to do it. It's not just vegetables, it's also the types of carbs. It's really, that's where we have to really focus, right? Like, so, like, for instance, like, the Welch's fruit packs, those are great. They're delicious, but it's 34 grams of pure sugar. If we can
Yeah,
change,
that's what I'm trying to cut out.
yeah, exactly. So like those are the things that like, so I want to give you some tips to replace them with. Simple fix there is doing berries instead, like some raspberries, something like that. If you're craving something sweet like that, raspberries, if you like any kind of melon, I don't know what, I live in Florida, so I don't know what your grocery stores seasonally have up there. I feel like everywhere you
So I just stocked up on strawberries.
I
I have
do.
some blackberries and I have some grapes.
That's good. And then like any of your when you're building your meals, it's hard to remember this, but like, things like pierogies, raviolis, those things should be used in moderation, like as almost like a here and there, like as you're like a weekend thing. And you're getting better about changing those things out. So like I only saw that kinds of stuff once or twice. That's why I'm picking it. But like looking for either a whole grain pasta or which you have found those. I don't like them, but you like those miracle noodles. But I think even a whole grain pasta would do you better because you're going to get more fiber. That kinds of stuff would be helpful for you. You do potatoes. If you like sweet potatoes, that's another option. Anything like that for your main meals is going to be helpful, but overall that's going to be my focus is just getting your fiber over 30 grams. And if you want, I don't even mind helping you. Like I've done this for a couple of my clients. Like, let me just build you out a sample day. What I'll basically do is I'll take like what your traditional day looks like. Hey, if you just made these couple of little swaps, you would see how your fiber skyrockets. And it might even be adding something in, it might even be adding in a snack that has higher fiber. It might not even be changing out much of anything. It might be more of an additional thing that you add in, rather than worried about taking things out.
Okay.
So that would help as well. Your weight looks good. It's at 282. So that's good. Obviously, things are still kind of moving in the right direction despite the stress. So I feel like anything else that you want to kind of work on this week? I think that this week you did great. I think that you got a battle ahead of you right now. And I feel like you're doing the right things for yourself. So
Okay.
Jan put about the grapes. Those cotton candy grapes are awesome. I'm gonna be honest though, grapes are great, but they're still, and not that there's nothing wrong with fruit. Oh my god, if I say this, people are gonna be like, oh my god, she's saying I can't eat fruit. No, grapes are pretty high in sugar, so, and not a lot of fiber, but they're still delicious and they're still fine to have. So just letting you guys, I don't want you guys to think I'm telling you not to have any any grapes, have the grapes. But yeah. By the way, if anybody wants to join in on my 21-day jumpstart, get an idea for how I do things, how we work, you are welcome to join in. FitBodyRxJumpstart.com. I will be posting about it all this week. It doesn't start till May 12th, so you got plenty of time. So mom, do yourself a favor. Self-Care Sunday. Join me. Join us.
All right.
It's free.
With that, we will catch you guys next time on the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey. Bye, guys.
Bye.